Uh, is this thing working? Is it working? Oh, okay. Hi. Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, we decided to build an alternative to Easy Worship, which is the popular scripture presentation software. So it's a popular scripture presentation software that is normally used at churches to help present the pictures, videos, and also the scriptures when the pastor is preaching. So we are done with part one of the videos, and if you have not watched it, you can visit my profile and it should be somewhere there. Yeah, so this is going to be part two of that video. And so in this video, this is how far we are going to get. You can see. So this is what we are going to have. So in this, we have a very nice intro animation. And when you start a new service, you are presented with a live presentation screen. So we have the service plan on the live presentation screen, and it lists if you have videos, audios, or you have songs, you can add every form of thing on that plan so that you can, if you want to follow the plan, you just go straight with the plan. So maybe when it's time for when it's time for choir administration, you can add the songs here and you can just display them automatically. So next we have the scripture tab right on the live presentation page where you can type in a specific scripture. So let's say John, and so where you can type in a specific scripture and then that scripture will show up onto the preview, and you can then move ahead and move it to the live screen. So the next, we also have a search tab under this where maybe the pastor is making reference to a scripture but has not provided you with a specific verse and chapter. Then you can just search it here, and it will also pop up where you can just go ahead and show it. So we have next we have the songs where we have a list of all the songs that are available in your system, maybe the hymnals and all of those things. They all come up right under this tab. So next we have a scripture page on its own, which is kind of different from the live presentations page. We are going to do I'm going to show you how I came up or I built all of this using Electron in this video. And I know a part of this video might get seriously boring, but just double tap and make sure that you follow my page so that we can see how we'll move on. Next, we have the scripture page, which also has the ability for you to type in a scripture. Also has the ability for you to search by word. But in addition to that, we have the browse tab here, which will allow you to select a specific book under the Bible instead of typing them in the chapter and showing a specific chapter onto the live screen or onto the preview screen. So this is what we are going to build. So let me show you where we stopped in the last video so that we can continue from there. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is to change this entry page or the home page into what you saw in the video. Now currently that's because I don't think I really need a service list here, but probably as time goes on, maybe during the final product I might still bring it back. But for now, I want the entry page to be a little bit animated, to have some few entry animations and all of that. And to do this, the first thing that I did was I had to go and get a new logo, text or logo here. So here's the dark logo, and there still needs some, it still has, I still have to do a couple, some small amount of work in Photoshop on it, but for now I think this is cool just for the MVP. And the next logo is the white logo that you can see here. So you have a dark and a light logo. So next I'm going to update this home page to make use of React Prima Motion and some other packages to get this done. So the first thing to do is to install those packages. So first of all, let me check and see if I don't have them installed already. And so I don't really like having I don't like the idea of having the entry page in the dashboard folder, so I'm going to move it into this folder. And currently I have a folder here that is completely empty called home. I'm just going to rename it to home page. And so inside of this folder, I'll paste in this code. But as you can see, this code is requesting me to have I'm going to create a new component here that I'll call use theme. And inside of that hook, I am going to add this few function to help me manipulate the theme as we move on. So what is happening here is that we are trying to store the theme of that the user will select along the line inside of local storage, so that when they come back, they will be able to easily have access to where they left off. Like the application will launch based on what they have set previously, so that they will not have to change their theme every time they log in. So that's essentially what this does. So here, this is a React hook, and we are just checking once the windows is loaded. We are checking to see if we have this inside of local storage. If we don't, we are setting it to light. So essentially, we are just returning this as a hook for our application to use. So here you can see that let's see this thing. We now have a theme, and then the next thing we need to do is we are importing our logo, the dark and the light logo. So once you get a theme, the next thing that we want to do is because you are going to use Framer Motion, see if I have it already installed. So I have it already installed, and to install it, all I had to do was to run npm install. Yeah, so I had to just run npm install Framer Motion to have this installed. So the next thing that we need to do is this is the animation. This is to animate the container. So let me save this, and this is to animate the items of the container one by one, and this one is to animate the logo. You can see the bouncing left and right logo. We have a circle on the page that I'm going to show you quite soon, and this is specifically for the button. So essentially this was supposed to transition the button in and out, but for now it's having some. I'll have to fix this a little bit later. So essentially that's it, and then all I had to do was to put those so here the variant, since this is a motion element, I can then pass the variant here, which is the container, and here this is the circle. So that we have two circles, and they are just items that we have drawn using the absolute positioning onto the page. And so let me run this so that you can see what we currently have. npm. So there we go, we have this now. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new page inside of the pages folder that I'm going to call live projection. That's live presentation. And so this is going to be the entry page. This is going to be the next page that when the user clicks on, this is going to be the page that is going to show the live presentation as you've seen. And okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to remove everything that is inside of the app.ts page, and I'm going to create a specific route for managing a specific page or a specific component for managing all my routes, so that it will become a little so that the app.ts page can become a little bit how will I put it, can be a little bit cleaner. So for now, I'm going to create that page. So I'll create the page right inside of the source file here. So I'm going to call it routes.css, something like this. Awesome. Now I'm going to have an app layout, which I'm going to define in a couple of seconds. But essentially, I'm just going to put what was inside of the app route inside of the app.ts. I'm just going to migrate it here, with the exception that I'm going to have a layout, an app layout component that I'll create in a couple of minutes. So here I'm going to create a new folder that I'm going to call layout like this, and then I'm going to call the app layout like this. I'm going to paste this code in here, and as you can see, is making use of a component called animated sidebar, which was the sidebar that we had in the previous I think it should still be here. Yeah, so it's going to make use of this animated sidebar here. That animated sidebar is pretty much what we had in the previous in the previous tutorial. So I'm just going to copy the code from that and paste it right here. And so the few changes that I've made is I've removed some menus from the sidebar for now. I removed the path for the scripture, songs, media, presentations, and services. Right now, all I need is just I want to have a logo at the top for the image, the logo that we have for the image logo to be there, and I want when the user clicks on that to take them back to the entry page, which is the home page. And then the next menu that I need right now is just the live presentation menu. So those are the two changes that I've the main changes that I've made to the animated sidebar from the previous video. And the animated sidebar, it just takes those particular links that I've placed here and loop through them and display them onto the sidebar. So you can also see that I'm using position feeds here to make sure that it stays at the very top of, to make sure that it stays fixed onto the page. Now, to show you how this works, for now, I'm just going to get rid of this dashboard folder entirely because I no more need it for now. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just import the animated sidebar from there. And I think there is, okay, so I also have to import the apps routes from the home kit. And there we go. So now I can restart the application. Right, so with the app route saved, we have something like this. Now when you click on this, you can see that we only have the live presentation showing for now. It's the praise presents, and everything is back to where it was at the beginning. And so right now, all we have to do is just to update our live presentation page or the components that we are rendering there. And everything should be good to go. And so when it comes to this live presentation page, I'm going to remove what is here and paste in this. Most of this is a dummy data for now. But when we save this, what we should have is something like this. So currently this is what we have. We have the plans, which are the slides that we just defined in here. And then we have a handle drag start, a handle that handles the beginning when you start dragging. So we have the ability for the user to extend and reduce the window size here. And that is done by this function that you can see at the top here called handle drag. So you just track the beginning of the current element, and it sets a specific width for both of the elements. So it sets a specific width for the left and also I think for the right. And next we have the service title. Most of these things are just dummy data to just hold placeholders for now, and as time goes on we are going to change them. So we also have some placeholders for the scriptures. Right now I'm not currently accessing the scriptures from the database. I'll show you, we'll move on to that part very soon. But for now, we have a basic function that simply mimic what we expect to do in the future, so that when the user is done with one slide and they want to move to the next one, we can run that specific function for them to move to the next slide. So if they also want to move to the previous slide, we have that here. And also we have a function that toggles the live of the page. So if you toggle this on, they need to say, hey, well, you are live. So we also have a function for the blank to page, which is what you see here. So we have a function that is supposed to send the current slide, which is what you currently want to be shown, or the preview item onto the page. So this is the part one of this particular session, where we have set up a view of this nature. And all right, so if you are still here up till now, then you are, congratulations, you are a developer, at least at heart. Anyway, so I'm so grateful for sticking out and for still being here up till now. And this is going to be for this particular video. I will see you in the next one, but before then, Make sure you like and subscribe, and have a good day.